Well, everyone, we've got a really informative and fun signature style Saturday today. So my friend Patty, who's a hand therapist, she's going to come and she's going to talk to us about issues that all of us may be experiencing as gardeners when we start to develop arthritis in our hands. I've been challenged with golfer's elbow. At any rate, she's going to go through all of those things and show us some tools and techniques that might be helpful if you too suffer from that. I can't believe it, Stuart, but it's already time to start thinking about Christmas and Christmas shopping. So I'm going to be showing you some products that I have discovered recently that I really, really love. Starting with, look at these fabulous copper buckets. I saw these, they come in a set of 3. I will definitely put a link. They're made in India, which reminds me of my son Johnny, but I think they will be absolutely brilliant around the holidays, filled with maybe paper whites, amaryllis, maybe some twigs and wood by the fireplace. You can buy them in a set, gift them to others. That's just one example of some of the things we're going to be talking about today on Signature Style Saturday. We haven't done any kind of giveaway or any kind of game or anything in a long time. And so here's my challenge. Those of you out there that are regular viewers, I want you to watch today's video. And then I want you to watch tomorrow's video where we go thrifting with John Turman. And the first person who comments 2 different things that they see in the video today that we thrifted tomorrow. So the comment will be in tomorrow's video. The first person that does that will get some kind of surprise package from me. I don't know what it will be, but wouldn't that be fun, Stuart?
That's a real fun idea.
So pay attention. Really look carefully today and then watch tomorrow's and see if you can spy the two, there's going to be 2. Look for 2 different things that we purchased in our thrifting video that you're seeing in this signature style video today. Ooh, Stuart, it's finally gotten chilly out. It feels wonderful. We've had so much rain, everything looks so fresh. And now it's cool. It's definitely sweater, if not jacket weather. And I've got a little planting project that I'm going to be executing today, this Saturday. And I'm starting, my point of inspiration were these darling little pots from my friend, Carlina Elizabeth. She has gifted these to me over the years. I've got 3 of them now. And I want to use them around the holidays. So Stuart, it's been a while since we have shopped my garden. So we're going to do that today. And I'm going to fill these little darlings with some tiny blue spruce conifers. Okay, I've got my Cool Jobs gloves on, and by the way, these Think green gloves are large enough so that if you have to wear them over some kind of hand brace, like I've got to wear this hand brace for 3 weeks, Stuart. So I love these gloves because I can just slip them on over whatever kind of brace I have on. But when I've been surveying the garden after all of this rain and reveling in how fresh everything looks, I've been looking for little seedlings to see if they've germinated, and I see lots of little larkspur seedlings. But the other thing that I noticed, look here, tucked in between these foxglove are 3 tiny little blue spruce. Now, we have shopped these from our garden many times in the past. We did it over at the other house. I think this maybe, is this the first time we've done it here?
I don't think so. I might have done it here before.
But I think, but see how cute these are?
Awesome.
And I'm trying to dig, and this is a wonderful thing to do after it's rained. So I'm just gently trying to excavate these from the ground so that I can transplant them. And these typically are a specimen that I think can transplant pretty successfully. Other things not so much. It's a gardening risk worth taking though, I think. And definitely, you know, you're not spending anything on them. So I'm just going to tuck these little darlings, tuck these little darlings in. But first, I need to get a little bit more potting soil. And lest you think that this is just for short-term pleasure, no, this can be a long-term investment in your garden, because see this right here? This is one of them that I brought. It started out just this size. And I brought this one from the other house. It had been in a pot, it grew up, and now it's getting ready to make a statement here along Autumn's edge in the front garden at the cottage. Okay, so even though these aren't completely styled, I'm probably going to tuck some moss around the base of them, or maybe I will mulch them with little tiny pine cones or tiny acorns or something. But once I give them a good watering, wash off all of the dirt, well, I think you can already see their sweet potential. In fact, Stuart just said these were as cute as, and I won't use the word, but I think these are pretty. Yes, but it was appropriate, and I think they are cute as that. And by the way, if you are wanting to do this in your own garden, don't limit yourself to little evergreens or something. You know, everything can be fodder for your hoary knife. And this works brilliantly, again, right after a rain. So I'm going to take these in, and I am going to just play with them. This is in the category of what I might call dollhouse gardening. If you're into fairy gardening or things, this just couldn't be any more fun, I think. And I'll take a picture after I get these all situated and settled in, and I'll let you look at their cuteness in their entirety when they are complete. Okay, well, speaking of products that can make your life easier, as we always try to do here on my channel, here is one that my mother-in-law recommended years ago. She had one, and now I definitely can see why.
I just read the front of it, that's why.
Yeah, I know, it's clever, isn't it? Well, she had one of these can openers, and it's kind of robotic, and I haven't even unpacked it all the way to demonstrate how it works, but it is their best-selling electric can opener. It solves all of your can opening problems with a simple press of a button. And what I like about it is that if you are starting to have trouble using those manual can openers, especially if they are an antiquated can opener like mine is, then you might want to do an upgrade for this. This is one of those kinds of things that you don't really know that you need it until you get it. But I can remember my mother-in-law having one of these. And so, yes, indeed, since I'm kind of compromised myself, I decided that this would be a wonderful gift for someone, I think. A little bit boring maybe, but nevertheless, a very, very much needed gift once you start using it. Okay, this is in response to I don't know how many different questions that you guys have asked me or many times. Where did I get my really large bamboo cutting boards? And as you can see, I now have two, and I will put links to these. Now, this one used to be where this one is now, and you can see these are really large. They've got two sides to them so that they have little gaps in them for different purposes. So you may ask, Linda, why did you get another one if you already have one? Well, one thing I have learned as I live in this house is that I really have to protect this marble from etching, from, just damage from cooking. And while I don't mind a little bit of that, nevertheless, I want to be a good steward of my marble countertops. So I got another one. This way, when I am cooking with friends or when my kiddos are here and they're cooking along with me or baking along with me, then I can have another large one to place over here or someplace else on the island, which will protect the island itself, obviously. Okay, the other reason I wanted to get another one, because look, this one has a lip. And because of that lip, I not only want to protect the surface of the marble, but I want to protect the edges of the marble. And I love these kind that have a lip. Now, I've got another one that you guys have seen before that I got at Williams-Sonoma many years ago. But even when I first got it, it was wood, not bamboo, and it was slightly warped. So sometimes if you were cutting something that had liquid on it, that liquid would kind of roll off the edges. This one here has a channel so that if I'm cutting a Thanksgiving turkey or doing charcuterie that might have, I don't know, some residual moisture or something that needs to drain out of it, in that case, then this channel will help. So I bought another one of these, and I think this would make a brilliant Christmas gift to somebody who wants to protect their own countertops or who has ugly countertops and they kind of want to camouflage them. So if you're in a rental or something and you've got some ugly tile or you've got some kind of ugly surface, it might be stained, it might be blemished in some way, then you can get one of these extra large cutting boards and it definitely will solve that and really upgrade the whole kitchen. Well, everything I have on today, except for my shoes, are thrifted. Is thrifted. So starting with my earrings, I bought these at a thrift store in Salida, Colorado, many years ago.
Little springs on.
Yes, my top is also thrifted, and what drew me to it was not only the color, but also these pearl buttons. Okay, that's a sign of a good quality shirt, these pearl buttons.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And it's got a little bit more heft than some flannel shirts do. Hubs loves this shirt. Okay, my belt. My belt is also thrifted, and I got this at, just one of the local thrift shops. I can't even remember which one in Oklahoma City, but I really like it. It's got kind of a faux fur finish and feel to it. My breeches are recycled, repurposed Calvin Kleins. I got these at a Goodwill. And my shoes, these are just, I love desert boots. And I kind of forgot I had these, but I got these years and years ago, and these are Franco Sarto, and decided I need to pull them out and wear them. And then I guess I do have other things that are not thrifted. My ring I bought at Mockingbird Manor many years ago, and then you guys have seen. By the way, I switched back to my other watch band. We'll try to put a link up to that, and a bracelet that I got years ago at a store called French Cowgirl. So am I forgetting anything, Stuart?
I don't think so.
There you go. There's my outfit of the day. But wait, Stuart, there was one more thing.
I almost did this.
The brace for my golfer's elbow. It is EATOL. Fetal, I don't know what that is. Anyhow, I did get this off of Amazon, and I will put a link to this if you too are suffering from either tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. Well, I have a very special guest and a very good friend, good gardening buddy here with me today. Patty, how long have we known each other?
Let me see, my kids are now 36 years old.
Yeah, okay. So our kids played together. We both used to live in Crown Heights together, but that is not why you are here.
No.
Even though you have great gardening prowess, you are here in a professional capacity as a hand therapist. So describe a little bit about what your profession has been and what you do.
Well, hand therapy is a specialty of therapy, of occupational therapy and physical therapy. And I'm a physical therapist, and I have now been a hand therapist for 46 years.
Wow.
So I've seen it come and go. I've worked with it. I work with an organization that certifies hand therapists. And because I'm a hand therapist, I have this wonderful CMC arthritis, which if you guys have a bump at the base of your thumb, you've got it. And what it is the CMC joint is a complex of small bones in your carpus, which is the small bones of your wrist.
So is it this right here?
Linda has it
I
also.
has it, yeah. Yes, yes.
And that's why she called
Linda,
me.
point to it again real quick. So
Yeah,
people
right
can see
here.
it.
And I bet every good gardener, and if you can feel it, it hurts.
can
A lot of
feel it.
times it's inflamed.
And the reason it hurts is because this bone here has now subluxed out of place and is not in its original place. And it's because when you pinch, you put a lot of force. They say 5 pounds of pinch here, by the time it reaches this joint, is 25 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And that's a lot of stress on those ligaments. And they eventually give and start stretching out, and you don't have that stability in your thumb for pinching more. People come in with complaints of, I don't have much pinch strength, I don't even have much grip strength. And it's related to arthritis that they're having at the base of their thumb.
So if you are like Patty and me, and you have done your share of pruning over the years, you have probably compromised this.
Yes.
It has probably exacerbated any tendency you have to this kind of arthritis. Okay, so first of all, are there any things that we can do to prevent further damage
Yes.
And just good, maybe physical therapy exercises or best practices that we can do ourselves
Yes.
to mitigate some of the issues we have.
And this arthritis doesn't come just from gardening. My arthritis probably is exacerbated because I cut out heavy material to make splints all day long for 46 years.
Yeah.
But the things you do in gardening that cause arthritis is pinching, and how much do we pinch? You know,
Deadheading and
deheading, digging, and pulling out weeds. Those repetitive types of stress across that joint, it just eventually
wears
gets
out.
out. People ask me, you know, what you can do. The first thing they want to do is squeeze a ball or squeeze putty to make their hand stronger. And that actually
It's worse.
is worse because you're just putting that stress across that joint again. I talk a lot to my patients about various ergonomic designs of tools they use. I talk to them about recreating a good pinch of their thumb and not pinching like that, and because that balances the weight transfer across your thumb.
Yeah, how you pinch matters.
So, okay, so before we get into some of the tools,
Yes.
let's talk about, are there any exercises that you can, stretching exercises or anything?
You can do some stretching exercises. The main thing I tell patients to do is learn to make like a lobster claw pinch, not this pinching like that.
Like that, yeah.
Balance it where you have a little bit of flexion. And I'm a wonderful hand model here. Let me see, here's a burn, here's,
Yeah.
This is another place you get arthritis when you do what I do for a living. But reconditioning yourself to pinch like that. And then if you need extra support, put your other fingers behind it instead of trying to make your index and thumb take it all. So pulling up like this to strengthen these muscles, the small muscles in your thumb, are your stabilizing muscles, and by improper pinching, those become actually very weak because you're not using them the way they're supposed to be used. You're substituting. So, and also coming and strengthening where you bend this joint, not this one. Because a lot of people I see with real advanced arthritis have lost all the strength in this little small muscle.
Right there.
And the other exercise I have people do is with your hand on its side, lifting your index finger up like that to activate this muscle.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good to know.
And you can see mine is pretty good because I really think about it. Those are the three main stabilizing exercises for your thumb.
Okay. So once you already have an issue, and I would say this is the first year that I have really noticed that things like, gosh, I can hardly use a can opener anymore.
Yes.
It's really, it's really painful. And I'm not somebody who takes lots of anti-inflammatories or ibuprofen. Do you recommend any supplements like curcumin or turmeric or?
A lot of those, and there's some of the turmeric milk type products.
The golden milk?
Yes, the what we used to call it, golden milk.
Yeah.
I'll throw a spoonful of that into a smoothie in the morning because it has several things, cinnamon, turmeric, several things, black pepper in it that make it, and I saw a hand surgeon recently discuss that in a nationwide meeting. So it's obviously becoming a little more than witchcraft.
Okay.
If the surgeons are beginning to recommend.
Okay, so it's truly efficacious. Okay, so you told me, you recommended, and we will put a link to all of these products, a Comfort Cool hand, what do you call these? A hand support or hand stabilizer?
Yeah.
Okay, show me how.
Just support.
Yeah, she's going to put hers on too.
And this was developed about 15 years ago by a really well-recognized hand therapist in North Carolina. And so she had worked with some engineers from Sweden, I think it was. Anyway, so she put a lot of thought into this. A lot of over-the-counter don't quite reach what hers does. What's nice about this one, as you bring it across back here, you can immediately feel some relief and pressure on that joint. And then the magic of this that none of the other supports have is this spiral-based strap that you reach across, and it gives you support here.
Yeah, and you can you can feel it.
Compression.
Now I got a medium, and I think maybe I could have done with a small.
You probably could.
Though I think you can obviously adapt, and it even said you could. There's certain places
Yes.
where you can cut it, so it's you don't
It's
have this kind of
neoprene,
flat
so
thing.
you don't have to worry about it raveling. If this is too long, which I encourage people to wear it for a while anyway, before they decide if it's too long, because it'll accommodate and kind of shape around your hand.
Yeah, and
It's washable. I recommend people, you can put it like in a Velcro bag, because it has a lot of Velcro on it, so it's going to tear up other clothes, and then lay it flat to dry. That just helps the neoprene last longer. You want to feel it snug, because you want that compression. It's supporting those structures.
and it feels good. I mean,
Yes.
it does feel good to have it on. The other thing that I think is important to say is if you can wear this while you're working. So you were saying earlier, like I love those Cool Jobs gloves, the bamboo gloves or whatever, and a lot of times I'll use the men's size. And then
Get over your various orthoses.
yes, to get my prosthesis, to get over my various yes, because I I was laughing. I said I look like a car wreck victim because I've got this for my arthritis. I've got this one on for my golfer's elbow, and I look like I am just completely
Yes.
a wreck. I am a wreck that has been in a wreck. Okay,
But
so
what I like about this, so you can move your wrist back and forth. It will limit you some this way, because that's part of the deforming things of that type of arthritis, is to limit that some. You can make full fist. You can do anything. The nice thing about it, and I tell patients, sleep in it. If you're having a flare up, like you worked in the garden all day, or you crocheted or knit something and it's sore, sleep in it. It is very comforting to sleep in it. My husband's a pharmacist. He spends all day cutting open packages and ripping, the little jars that medical supplies come in, and he will sleep in his.
yeah, I've actually been sleeping in both of them, which is very attractive. But it does make them feel better. Now, if you have to get up in the middle of the night to pee, that's kind of another thing.
It'll slow you down.
It'll slow you down.
Take a head start.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I think so many of us, and I know some people in their 30s that are already getting arthritis in this joint. So if you are someone out there that suffers from these same afflictions, then I definitely would recommend one of these. Pretty quickly, can you tell us about some other tools that you think are ergonomically superior to what we might already be using?
Yes, I was telling Linda, these are all brand new, because mine look pretty bad, and I thought these might show them. But anything that increases the grip, so that you're not having to grip real hard. And this is a weeder, which I haven't tried this exact tool yet, but I'm pretty fascinated with it. You come down like that, and then it has a fulcrum to help you get down and pull a weed out that way.
Yeah.
This is a pretty standard garden trowel with the built-up grip, so that you don't have to grip it as hard. This is another tool. It's called, as you can recognize, these are Fiskars. This is called Radius, is the brand. And what is nice about it is when you dig, I'll show you it standing up, because you won't dig sitting down. It allows you to keep your wrist straight rather than cocked up with an ordinary one, and it transmits that force all the way up the arm.
Up your arm. Yeah. Okay, now these are really cool. Did you just get these online?
I just got these online at the typical online place.
Yeah, Amazon, okay.
Anything that's ratcheted. The first time I ever worked with ratcheted tools were with ratcheted loppers. And you can really put a lot of force across a ratcheted tool. This is ratcheted, which makes you have to use less force. It gives you more power. But what is really interesting about it is watch what that handle does. When I squeeze, it rotates. So you're grabbing it with the tip of your fingers, but then it rotates as you come in. So it just allows a different type of grip with it. And once again, being ratcheted really increases your power with that.
And it probably is just in general more comfortable to use
is,
and
because
more cushion. And I'm sure there's a plethora of different kinds of these kind of ergonomically friendly tools out there, but there are some of them. The best recommendation I can give is really get somebody else to do it for you.
Yes.
Which you and I don't always.
We don't have partners who are obsessed with gardeners.
No, we don't. But as somebody, between the two of us, we are probably in the millions of flower bulbs that we have planted over the years. So we show ourselves a little bit of grace, and we do sometimes let people help us.
Like teenagers who live across the street
from me,
yeah. Gas money. They're pretty good.
Or you dig the holes and I'll drop them in. Yeah, that works too. Thank you, doll. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's so great to see you, and wonderful to see your garden.
Okay, one more thing before we let you go. If someone is looking for a certified hand therapist, where can they find one? And as importantly, does insurance cover it?
That's two different questions. The easiest place to find one is there is a website called the Hand Therapy Certification Commission, and it will give you the names and locations of therapists who have taken the exam for certification and are practicing in your area. Many of the hand surgeons will have a practice therapist that they prefer to use, and that is a great place to go to find one. Now, does insurance cover it? If your insurance covers physical or occupational therapy, it should cover a certified hand therapist. Medicare covers it. Various insurance companies cover it. I can't even think of any that don't necessarily cover it because it's a well-known prescription.
Yeah, okay. So your GP could even refer you.
Yes, your GP, and I wish I could get more GPs to refer people early in their disease state, because by the time someone sees a hand surgeon, they're usually past this level of support. They're needing a rigid support, they're needing surgery, but this is for people early on. It's not going to cure it, but it's going to give you some support and help prolong it from becoming more serious.
And prevent further deterioration.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, again, in response to lots of comments, especially about my lipstick recently, I thought it would be fun if I shared with you some of my cosmetic products that I like, that I have used for years, and then something to put them in, because this is my new fun find. I love this. I'm getting several of these as Christmas gifts. So you see, I just bought it. The tag is still on. Okay, but look, what is so fun is that when you zip it up, look, it's a little square. But then when you unzip it, and it's from Ichi, it says from Ichi, and they have different colors and things, but it feels like it feels very expensive. But then when you open it up, see, it goes flat. And so you can keep your different things in. So I'm getting ready to go on a trip, and I'm getting ready to pack some of these things, so that I thought while I was doing that, I would just go ahead and share some of the things you've been asking me about. Now, this is one product I already told you about. So many of you have told me that you bought it yourself, this Glotion. Lumi Glotion by L'Oreal. Now, one thing I did notice, now that I'm not spending as much time out in the sun, now that we're going into the winter months, really my complexion is a little bit lighter. So the one that I had bought previously was in light, and even it was a little bit too dark, so now I've bought it in fair. So I love this. I love this fit. You can see I've been using it. This Fit Me. I love this kind of powder. It comes with its own little powder puff, but if you're concerned about having large pores or a little too much shine on your face or whatever, this stuff is great. It doesn't feel overly thick. It's very translucent. It's comfortable to wear. And again, it really makes your face look as if you just don't have any pores. So I love this. Comes in different colors. Okay, the other thing that I really like, you guys, let me get going here. And these are really well used. So I'm going to show you these. these are not new, so they don't look all pretty and unblemished, but it's because I've bought so many of these over the years. So those of you who want to know about my lipstick, okay, my favorite lip pencil is this NYX pencil, and it's in coffee. Excuse me. It's in the color coffee. It is SPL 022, I think. Are you impressed that I could do that without my glasses on, reading glasses on? Okay, so this is my number one thing. My number two thing is I don't think I ever wear just one color of lipstick on its own. So when you guys say, oh, what shade of lipstick do you have on? Kind of hard to tell. Stuart's just thinking, oh, you girls, oh, you girls. But so here is typically what I do. I have one color that is an undercoating. And that way, as my lipstick wears off during the day, I will always have a bit of color, because without lip color, I'm just as pale as can be. And this is one of my base colors. This is Mochalicious, and again, I'll have to put a link to it.
So they can see
Yeah, Mochalicious, and I can't even tell you what brand this is because I can't see without my glasses on. In fact, oh, look here. I'm so organized as I begin to pack. Let me see here if I can read it. I may still not be able to read it because it may be too small.
Yeah, I'm getting where I can't read the tiny stuff anymore.
Yeah, Mochalicious. I'm not sure, but I will find. Maybe some of you, here's my question of the day. Oh, here it is. Wet n Wild. One of my very, very favorite cheap brands of lipstick. I have more Wet n Wild lipsticks than any other kind. You can use them almost like a sampler, but this Mochalicious I love. And then what I do is I really pat my lips and take off probably 3/4 of it. So then I just have kind of a lip stain underneath. And then I come back with another lighter color on top. So another Wet n Wild product. This is one I really, really like. And this is a pink. It is Rosy Pink 526C. So this is one of my favorite colors. And the ones that I think you guys have been commenting on, this is a relatively new one to me. This is Maybelline Super Stay Ink Crayon. And this is what color? This is Keep It Fun. Keep It Fun, number 90. So I will put all of the links. In fact, what we're going to try to do is just put one link that you hit, and it will go to all of the links in this video. And I think that should be pretty helpful for you. So there you go. Those are my lipsticks that I really, really love. And if you want to know what I'm using as a cleanser, I am just basically using good old Dove soap for sensitive skin. It's the best working, least expensive option that I have found that works for me. So there you go, some of my favorite beauty products and a favorite gift item for Christmas. Well, here's a couple more products, a life lesson, and a little tease. So one relates to the other, and how, you might ask? Well, a friend of mine, Mickey Ferris, came over recently, and we did an interview with her for Let's Talk Tuesday that we're going to be airing, I think it's this Tuesday. Stuart, if you're in the Oklahoma City area, you may know of her. She is really a mover and shaker in Oklahoma City, and she is the spearhead for Infant Crisis Center. So we're going to visit with her. But when she came over, we were sitting there just chatting, and she said, you know, I still have that Callista heated hair roller that you told me about, I don't know how many years ago. I really don't know how many years ago. And so I got mine out to see if it still works, and indeed it does still work, and I still use it periodically. So that speaks to that I only try to show you products that I really think are good quality products that get good reviews and that I think will in some way make your life easier. And along that line, one thing I have noticed recently, in addition to all of my other ailments, as it relates to gardening, that because my hands and my elbow have been compromised, that not only restricts me out in the garden, but it also restricts me when I'm doing simple day-to-day activities like blow drying my hair, curling my hair, or whatever. And a lot of us straighten our hair or use a big round brush with the hair dryer, which means we have to really hold our hand up in place for a period of time. Well, then I thought, aha, why don't I just get one of those Callista Perfector Pro heated round brushes to do that for me, and then that is a mouthful, and then I don't have to do it for myself. I can just keep my hand there and I don't have to torque my wrist or anything. So I've been using it recently. I really like it. It's as good quality as the other one. It comes with a little carrying case, and I think I think it's something that you may not know you need it until something happens to you and you get golfer's elbow. But if it makes it easier for you when you are in some way afflicted, just think what it will do for you if you are not afflicted. It will just make your getting ready in the morning that much faster and that much quicker. So this is another recommendation that I would give you as a gift item or a gift to yourself. It's really helped me recently. Another thing, this is, stocking stuffers, I think, are the most fun Christmas gifts to buy because they don't have to be expensive. They just have to be useful and they have to be kind of fun. And I discovered these online, and they come in a package. In fact, Stuart, would you hand me that over there? Thank you, Stuart, the magic of TV. And so you get them in a package like this. And what are they? They are notebooks. They're spiral notebooks that open and close at the top. And I love these, and I like these because they've got an extra heavy cover and back to them. So you can cram them into your backpack, into your purse, into your pocket or whatever, and they won't get all mucked up, and they're somewhat a little bit waterproof on the outside. So they come in all of these different fun colors with contrasting spiral wiring, and I think they're just fun. And I can get these in bulk. And since I am kind of a notebook slut, I just love notebooks. I can't ever have too much, and my son Johnny is the same way. That these will make great stocking stuffers. And oftentimes too, when little kids come over and they visit with me or something and they want a little take home, I can give them these with their crayons or whatever, and they can draw pictures for me and then bring them back to me. Everything has a hidden motive. So I think these are great. They're inexpensive, would make great stocking stuffers. And so if you, like me, have kind of an obsession with notebooks and paper products, then you might want to look into them too. Okay, lately I've really been trying to identify things that are just life's little luxuries. And this may be one of the littlest luxuries that you can get, but it's a daily delight. And I just love striking a match. I just find it really, really satisfying. A lot more satisfying than just lighting one of those clickers. So this is something that I've showed you before. I love fireplace matches, and when we are definitely in the throes of fire season now, so I like to use fireplace matches. I just bought some of these and they're wonderful. And I think they make a great stocking stuffer. I think they make a great, they even could make a great hostess gift or something if you know people that have like a solo fire pit outside and they just are, they're lighting lots of fires. They're also great if you are putting together camping stuff and you need matches for that. But I think they're just kind of a fun little gift. And then you can buy separate strike pads that are adhesive on the back, and then you can just put that on the side of a fun vessel or something that you want to keep your matches in.
And that's really the tip right there, because that's the thing you don't see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and you can get these separately. You can get big ones, you can get small ones or whatever, and then I like an idiot. I used to put them on the bottom bottom.
I
But
was
then
just
I
thinking I
realized,
should do that.
I know, and then I think, okay, and
You gotta pick the
frequently,
thing up.
and then I think it was one of you followers that pointed out to me, gosh, Linda, oh my gosh, use that brain of yours, and so you can put it on the side. So anyhow, I think that's just a really fun tip, a potentially fun gift and stocking stuffer for Hygge fire season. Well, this is something that I have learned this month, maybe over the past couple months, and it is, I think, a life lesson as it pertains to, number one, being brave, number two, kind of getting outside of your comfort zone, and number three, just don't be intimidated and go ahead and ask. And so here are my two different examples of that. So I was out walking recently. I don't know if I've shared this with you before or not, this story, but I was out walking not too long ago, and I came across someone who lives in my neighborhood who is a famous news correspondent. I did not know he lived in my neighborhood. It was really out of context, but nevertheless, I just decided to put my big girl panties on. I found where they lived in my neighborhood. It's literally around the corner from me. And I went up and I just kind of stalked them. And I went to the door and I introduced myself and I said, I'm really outside of my comfort zone here, but I'm a huge fan of yours and I would love to invite you and your husband over for cocktails and appetizers one evening. And she was very gracious and very receptive. And we got together and they came over and we had a lot in common and we had a fascinating evening and discussion. And finally, I thought, well, I'm really trying to visit with different kinds of personalities on my channel. I really want a wide breadth of people who have different life experiences. And so it can't hurt to ask. So I just humbly asked him if he would consider being on my channel doing one of my Let's Talk episodes. And he said, yes, he would be happy to. So I was very sheepish in asking, but I'm so glad I did, because not only will it be valuable for me and for you, but he seemed genuinely pleased to be asked. And I think we just always assume that if we feel it's an imposition, that the person that we are imposing upon won't be receptive to it. And sometimes that's not the case. So I guess that's also a life lesson in not assuming different things. Yeah. So that is one that we're going to be doing, I hope, sometime before Thanksgiving. And he's just fascinating, and has had so many life experiences and probably has a lot of wisdom to share. My second example of that is a lot more fun. So and in fact, it is what I am packing for. I recently was researching different kinds of fitness and spa resorts in an area of the country that I just love, and it is in the Red Rock area in and around St. George, Utah. And my in-laws, this whole episode, Stuart, might be I'm turning into my mother-in-law. They used to go to these fitness resorts periodically. They found them just to be really healthy, invigorating, motivational. And I thought, with everything that's gone on for the past couple of years, that maybe I would want to treat myself to that. But I was intimidated by the price. Nevertheless, I did my research. And one of them that I selected, which you'll be hearing a lot about, is Movara. And it is a fitness resort right in the heart of this beautiful Red Rock country. So you've probably heard of forest bathing, where the Japanese, and there's a specific word for it, where you go into the forest and as a medicinal remedy, you go and you just soak up nature for a period of time for its restorative and healing powers. And this is, I guess, my corollary to that for those of us that live in this part of the country. We just love these areas with their beautiful rock formations, the the colors, the lights, the shadows. And so a fitness resort that includes lots of hiking in this beautiful space, well, it was just very titillating to me. So I was looking into it and coming across this is the one that I focused in on, this one in particular. There's a number of them. But when I was going through their website, I noticed, oh, they had some great recipes. And I shared one of the recipes on Instagram and tagged them. And they then responded and said, well, thank you for tagging us and whatever. And I just replied that my in-laws have been a big fan, and that I just really loved their mission and everything about it. And they said, well, thank you. And then in just a moment of insanity, I said, may I ask, do you ever work with influencers who can spread the word about places such as yours? And they said, yes. And I sent them my content. I sent them links to my social platforms, and they were having Influencer Week, November 10th through the 17th. And I visited with someone and they said, we would love to have you. So I am getting a free stay, week-long stay at this wonderful place.
Pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. Oh my gosh, I am humbled because I asked. And I think sometimes we just think, oh, I don't have enough followers, or oh, I'm not big enough, or oh, I'm not professional enough. And so we hesitate to just get outside of our comfort zone and just ask in a very just kind of pragmatic way, without 1,000 exclamation points, but just in a very pragmatic way, expressing how we recognize the value of what they do. And if they are looking for someone who can share that experience, then you are happy to sign up. And so that's just 2 examples recently of things that, and I was not comfortable in asking for either one of these things. I really was not comfortable in asking. But when you get old, you begin to think, oh, why not? What have I got to lose? All they can say is no. You haven't lost anything, but you might gain a friend, or you may gain a really incredible experience. So let me know, you guys. This is my question of the day. Let me know an experience that you have had, and I would like to share some of these. If you share them with me, I would like to share them with others, of things where you got outside of your comfort zone and you asked for something, and lo and behold, it was worth the risk of asking. Get outside your comfort zone, you guys, and let's just try to lead our biggest life.